In this life, people like to spend money on all kinds of things: electronics, bags, shoes, cars, whatever your thing might be. But for me, if you've been around here long enough, you know that I love to invest in books. Don't ever make the mistake of making me think or giving me the illusion that there is money somewhere.
Hello, I like money.
Because if there is money and if I can get my hands on it, I shall spend it. Okay? Usidanganywe, pesa ni tamu sana.
40,000 I'm rich.
So in this video, I'm going to be doing a bit of a book haul because I have been able to buy quite a number of books that I plan to be reading throughout the rest of this year. And I just want to let you know about the hype and the excitement that I currently have right now. As for now, I have about 7 books that I have lined up for the rest of the year. So let's get started. The first book is a romance. It's one that I definitely need in my shelf throughout the year because I tend to read very heavy and complex stories, and so things that are refreshing are always very much enjoyed for me. And that book is One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book begins with Emma, who is a freelance writer, and Jesse, who is a production assistant on nature documentaries. 1 year into their marriage, actually on their first wedding anniversary, Jesse is out on assignment somewhere in an island, and his helicopter goes down and he passes away. This obviously throws Emma into a pit. She doesn't really know what to do with her life, and so she decides to go back home to Massachusetts, where she seems to be rekindling an old flame with a guy named Sam, who I think she also went to high school with. And they get engaged, but boom shakalaka, Jesse shows up alive. And so Emma is literally at a crossroads because there's Jesse, who she was married to, and then there's Sam, who she's engaged to. I'm really looking forward to seeing what the verdict will be. I'm only on page 30, so it's too soon to make any predictions, but I shall definitely keep you guys in the loop. The next book is totally family centric. As you know, I really like to read the POVs of many different members within a family. This is an author I talked about in my last video, and I finally got my hands on another one of her books, and this book is Within Arm's Reach by Anne Napolitano. This book follows about 3 generations of a pretty large Irish Catholic family. We get to see how generational trauma and the upbringing of children by their parents shapes them into who they become, who they change and evolve and morph into as they get older and older. But something interesting that caught my eye and I'm excited to analyze within the book is the issue of how sometimes in families or within friendships or any kind of setup where human beings are gathered together and are sharing in some way is the fact that there's never really a perfect victim. Often in both maybe normal or neurotypical families and perhaps even dysfunctional families, everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's why I think in a story it's very important to have different POVs. Otherwise you might be biased or skewed towards a particular character. These 2 books are new for me. I haven't really delved into this genre, and that genre is science fiction. And for these next 2 books, I have This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone, and a very exciting one, The Ministry of Time by Colleen Bradley. These stories, at least from what I know so far, analyze bureaucracy and romance and going back in time. And the books are also pretty interesting because they do make reference to a number of current day issues and phenomena that we have today, like Spotify and etc. I haven't really read science fiction before, so I can't say too much, though I am supposed to be reading this book with a friend of mine, and I think she's way ahead of me. I know I haven't been pulling my weight, but it's fine. I shall eventually get to How to Lose a Time War. Another book on my shelf which centers around women's fiction is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This story follows 39 women who are living deep underground in a cage, like they are entrapped within a cage, and they are watched over by guards 24/7. And the interesting thing is that the 40th prisoner, who is a young girl, might be the one who helps these women to escape and to survive and actually enter the what we call the normal world. But to them it's obviously strange because they actually have very vague recollections of their lives before they got there. They really don't remember much before they were in that cage. I'm really looking forward to this book. I have heard nothing about great reviews, and so I shall definitely be letting you guys know what I think along the way. A book that analyzes the contemporary lives of women living in Japan. Definitely another example of women's fiction is Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kawakami. This book follows a mother, her older sister, and the mother's daughter who are living in Japan, and they are basically assessing their self-worth, their self-esteem, issues of beauty, cosmetic surgery and cosmetic work, for example, breast augmentation, and what does it mean to be a working woman, and how do beauty standards come into play in how the world perceives you, in how the corporate world perceives you, and how you generally carry yourself. I'm pretty excited. I have a friend who's read a bit of this, so at least I have someone to bounce my ideas off of, and I'll keep you guys in the loop. The final book is one that I am nervous and excited to read, and it's definitely tethered to the whole issue of the loneliness epidemic that's currently happening, not just among young people, but young and even older people within our generation because of technology and the way society is shifting. And that book is Schmutz by Felicia Baliner. The word schmutz in Yiddish basically translates to something that is dirty, or it has a stain, or it's lewd or profane, something that's generally not acceptable. And this is a really good title for this book because it follows an 18-year-old girl who is Jewish. The book, I believe, is set in the early 2000s, and so she is going to college and she has received a laptop, which is generally not, I think, acceptable in her religion, at least based off the time period in which the book is set. And what's interesting is the fact that she comes into contact and explores explicit content online. We see her really wrestling with issues of her religion and shame, and what will other people make of the fact that this is what she's doing underground and nobody really knows about this secret life that she's living, how it's taking an effect on her grades, her schoolwork, her self morale. The reason I decided to pick up this book is because there is already a lot of good content out there, books, podcasts, etc., on the neuroscience and all the facts that we need to know about what happens when the human brain gets hooked on explicit online content. But I was looking for, an endearing fictional story where the protagonist is at the very center of the book, wrestling with this idea. What path will they pick in their lives? Do they have someone to share this with? And where does religion tie into all of these things? For me, I am quite picky every single year with the books that I buy and read, because by the time I'm hitting purchase, I really, really have to be excited about the book. I love books that are human centric, and so for me, I like to read reviews and get other people's ideas, but not look for spoilers before I finally purchase a book. I finally had a physical list of books to show you, because usually I buy a book, I read, then I buy another one, but I finally have, something nice to show you guys. And so I'll let you know how this goes. Please give me your comments if you happen to have read any of these books. And yeah, we'll keep reviewing this until the end of 2026.